Welcome, brave souls, to another journey into the unknown. Tonight, we delve into the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, a city known for its vibrant culture and scorching sun. But beneath the surface lies a darker side, one filled with restless spirits and haunted grounds. Join me as we explore the most haunted parks in Phoenix, where the past refuses to stay buried. Encanto Park, located in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is widely regarded as one of the city's most beloved green spaces. Its sprawling lawns, tree-lined pathways, and serene lagoon attract families, joggers, and nature lovers seeking a respite from the desert heat. By day, the park is alive with the laughter of children, the hum of bicycles on paved paths, and the gentle quacking of ducks in the lagoon. But as night falls, a different side of Encanto Park emerges, a side that locals rarely speak of openly, yet one that has haunted whispers and chilling accounts for decades. The earliest stories of paranormal activity in Encanto Park date back to when the park was first developed. Some locals recall seeing a shadowy figure near the lagoon, often described as tall and indistinct, moving silently along the water's edge. It is never clear whether this figure is male or female, human or something else entirely. Those who have witnessed it report a feeling of being watched, a cold, creeping sensation that rises along the back of the neck. In many cases, the figure vanishes the moment an observer looks directly at it, leaving behind only ripples on the water and an uneasy silence. Joggers and evening walkers are among the most frequent witnesses. Many have recounted the sensation of footsteps following them along empty trails, only for the sound to stop abruptly whenever they glance behind. Some hear the crunch of gravel or the shuffle of leaves, yet see no one on the path. This phenomenon often occurs near the lagoon and along the winding trails that skirt the water, creating a sense that the very park itself is alive with unseen watchers. Those who experience it describe a heaviness in the air, as though an unseen presence has suddenly joined their solitary walk. The lagoon itself seems to be a focal point for Encanto Park's ghostly activity. Some visitors report that the water appears to ripple even when the breeze is still, as if disturbed by invisible hands. There are accounts of fleeting reflections on the surface, shadowy forms that vanish the moment someone attempts to approach. On foggy nights, locals have described hearing faint whispers, indistinct but urgent, seeming to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. While the words are often unintelligible, the tone is unmistakably soft, pleading, or mournful call that lingers in the mind long after leaving the park. Several park-goers have also reported seeing spectral apparitions near the small bridges and benches that line the lagoon. These figures are often described as semi-transparent, flickering in and out of visibility, and sometimes appearing to stare directly at observers before disappearing. Some speculate that these are the spirits of lost souls, perhaps individuals who died tragically nearby, or memories of people long forgotten. Others suggest a more sinister interpretation, that something malevolent inhabits the park at night, drawn to those who wander alone after dark. Encanto Park's history offers a possible explanation for its hauntings. The area was once home to early Phoenix settlements, and while most physical traces were removed during development, the land may retain echoes of its past. Locals tell stories of old property boundaries, forgotten wells, and unmarked graves near the lagoon. Whether these remnants of history are tied to the ghostly figures, or whether the park itself has developed a restless energy, remains a matter of speculation. Nighttime visitors often notice the air growing colder around the lagoon and along the shaded pathways. Some have described sudden chills that make the hair on their arms stand on end, or an inexplicable feeling of being pushed or guided along a certain route. Campers and late-night joggers report heart-pounding moments where the shadows seem to move independently, shifting just beyond the range of vision. Even those who do not believe in the supernatural admit to feeling unease, a sense that the familiar beauty of the park conceals something otherworldly. In addition to visual and auditory phenomena, Encanto Park has been the site of strange encounters with animals. Dogs have barked at empty patches of grass, Ducks have fled the lagoon as if sensing a presence, and nocturnal birds have been reported screeching without cause. Locals suggest that wildlife can detect what humans cannot, further supporting the idea that the park harbors something beyond ordinary perception. Despite these unsettling experiences, Encanto Park continues to attract visitors. Families, couples, and fitness enthusiasts enjoy the open spaces and natural beauty during daylight hours, often unaware of the stories that emerge when the sun sets. Yet for those who venture after dark, the park can transform into a place where reality feels thin, and the boundary between the living and the spectral blurs. Witnesses consistently emphasize the same themes: shadowy figures near the lagoon, footsteps that echo in empty paths, and a lingering sense of being observed. The legend of Encanto Park serves as a reminder that even in bustling urban areas, history, loss, and perhaps the supernatural leave traces that refuse to fade. Whether the shadowy figure near the lagoon is the spirit of a lost soul, a guardian of the land, or something more malevolent, one thing is certain: Encanto Park holds secrets that only reveal themselves to those willing to wander its paths after dark. Visitors report that a simple walk at night can become a tense experience, where every rustling leaf or ripple in the water might signal something watching, waiting, or reaching out. For those drawn to the paranormal, Encanto Park is a place of mystery and subtle terror. Its combination of serene beauty and unexplained phenomena makes it both alluring and unnerving. Whether one seeks thrills, history, or an encounter with the unknown, the park provides a haunting experience that lingers long after leaving its gates. Shadows, whispers, and cold, creeping sensations are reminders that some stories refuse to remain buried, and that even in the heart of Phoenix, the past is never truly gone. Steele Indian School Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is today a sprawling urban park filled with walking trails, playgrounds, sports fields, and open spaces where families and joggers enjoy the sun-drenched desert landscape. On any given day, the park hums with activity: children laughing as they play, runners pacing along the trails, and locals walking their dogs under the shade of mature trees. But beneath this lively, modern scene lies a much darker history, one that continues to leave its mark on the area. Before it became a public park, the land was home to the Phoenix Indian School, a boarding school that operated from the late 19th century until the mid-20th century, designed to forcibly assimilate Native American children into European American culture. The school subjected its students to strict discipline, cultural suppression, and in some cases, abuse. Even decades after the school's closure, reports of strange phenomena suggest that the spirits of the children may still roam the grounds, searching for the peace they never received in life. Visitors to Steele Indian School Park have frequently reported seeing apparitions along the trails and open fields. Often, these sightings take the form of children in old-fashioned clothing, small figures darting between trees, or appearing momentarily near the playgrounds before vanishing. Witnesses describe a sense of sadness or unease that accompanies these sightings, as though the spirits are trying to communicate their pain or relive moments from the past. Some have reported fleeting glimpses of adult figures as well, dressed in the attire of school staff, watching over the children silently before disappearing. Unexplained sounds are another hallmark of the park's haunted reputation. Many visitors have heard footsteps following them along empty pathways, the pitter-patter of small feet echoing in places where no one else is present. Others report hearing whispers, muffled voices, or the faint laughter of children coming from areas where there is no one nearby. Occasionally, the sounds are accompanied by sudden, chilling gusts of wind or drops in temperature, even on otherwise warm days. The combination of auditory and visual phenomena leaves many who visit with a profound sense that the land is still inhabited by spirits unwilling or unable to move on. Certain areas of Steele Indian School Park are known for heightened activity. Along the original footprint of the school buildings, visitors often report cold spots, a sensation of being watched, and the feeling of an unseen presence moving among the trees, as if invisible hands are making contact. Dogs brought to the park frequently react to these unseen entities, barking, growling, or refusing to enter particular areas, further reinforcing the sense that something unnatural lingers there. The history of the Phoenix Indian School helps explain the persistence of these spirits. Thousands of Native American children from across the Southwest were sent to the boarding school over its decades of operation. Many removed forcibly from their families and communities. While some children survived and eventually left the school, others died due to illness, harsh conditions, or neglect. Graves of students were maintained on the school's property, though records were minimal and many burials remain unaccounted for. Locals and historians believe that the unresolved sorrow and suffering of these children has left a spiritual imprint on the land, creating a lingering presence that manifests in both subtle and striking ways. Even during the day, sensitive visitors often feel an inexplicable tension when walking through the park. The feeling of being watched, sudden chills, and glimpses of shadowy figures are reported not just after sunset, but in the quietest, sunlit corners of the grounds. The energy of the place is heavy, as if the echoes of the past refuse to fade, quietly reminding the living of the hardships endured here decades ago. Paranormal investigators have documented various phenomena at Steele Indian School Park, including cold spots, unusual recordings of voices, and fleeting apparitions. While skeptics may attribute these experiences to natural causes or overactive imaginations, the consistency of reports over the years lends credibility to the belief that the spirits of the children remain. Whether these manifestations are residual energy or sentient entities, the experiences leave lasting impressions on those who encounter them. Steele Indian School Park serves as a stark reminder that the land beneath our feet can carry memories of the past, while today it functions as a recreational area, offering joy, exercise, and community gathering. The park also preserves the emotional echoes of its history. Shadowy figures, unexplained noises, and sudden sensations of cold or contact hint at the lives of children who endured hardship and suffering. Their spirits lingering in search of recognition or peace. For those who walk its trails attentively, the park is not merely a place of leisure, it is a site where the past whispers softly, reminding all who visit that some histories never truly fade. Margaret T. Hance Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is a bustling urban oasis today, stretching across several city blocks and offering walking paths, playgrounds, gardens, and public art installations. By day, it is alive with families, joggers, cyclists, and tourists enjoying the open space in the heart of downtown. But beneath the surface of this vibrant park lies a history that is less visible, one that has fueled countless ghost stories and paranormal encounters over the years. Margaret T. Hance Park was built atop land that once served as a cemetery, a final resting place for those long forgotten. Though the graves were relocated or obscured during the park's development, many believe that the spirits of the buried never truly left, and that their presence can still be felt in the air. Shadows and whispers that haunt the grounds. Visitors to the park have long reported a sense of unease, particularly in areas that correspond with the cemetery's original layout. Even on the hottest summer days, people often describe sudden, unexplained chills that creep along the back of their necks or brush across their arms. These cold spots are often fleeting, but persistent, leaving an impression that something unseen is moving among the trees or across the pathways. Some witnesses report that the temperature changes are accompanied by a subtle pressure in the chest or a sensation of being watched, as though invisible eyes are tracking their every move. Whispers are another commonly reported phenomenon at Margaret T. Hance Park. Many visitors describe faint voices, almost imperceptible, carried on the wind or emerging from the shadows of the trees. Sometimes the voices appear to be speaking directly to them, calling their names or murmuring indistinct phrases. Others report hearing conversations that stop abruptly when they attempt to locate the source. These auditory experiences can be unsettling, particularly when they occur in isolated areas of the park where no one else is present. The combination of whispers and cold spots has made the park a notable location for paranormal enthusiasts, some of whom claim to have captured EVP's electronic voice phenomenon during nighttime investigations. Shadows and apparitions. have also been reported, most often near the older, less trafficked areas of the park. Visitors have described fleeting silhouettes among the trees, moving quickly and disappearing before they can be fully seen. Occasionally, figures resembling old-fashioned mourners have been glimpsed near certain benches or garden areas, as if reliving moments from long ago. Some witnesses have even reported seeing entire groups of people, semi-transparent and ghostly, moving along the paths before fading into nothingness. These sightings are often accompanied by an eerie stillness, a hush that falls over the park and amplifies the feeling that something otherworldly is present. The history of the land adds context to these strange occurrences. Cemeteries were often placed near the centers of early communities, and the area that became Margaret T. Hance Park was no exception. Though city planners relocated graves and restructured the land during the park's construction, it is widely believed that not all remains were moved, or that some spiritual energy remained behind. Locals suggest that these lingering spirits may be responsible for the cold spots, whispers, and occasional sightings of ghostly figures. Some believe they are restless souls, still bound to the land where they were once laid to rest, seeking acknowledgement or closure that was never granted. Even during daylight hours, sensitive visitors sometimes report feelings of unease or being watched. The park's combination of open lawns, dense clusters of trees, and hidden corners creates natural spaces for the imagination to amplify subtle stimuli into ghostly encounters. Some people describe hearing footsteps following them along pathways, seeing fleeting movement from the corner of their eyes, or feeling sudden, unexplained touches on their shoulders or arms. Others have noted that pets, particularly dogs, often react to something unseen, barking or refusing to enter certain areas of the park. Nighttime intensifies the park's haunted reputation. As the city lights dim, shadows stretch and the familiar paths take on a different quality. Visitors report that the whispers become more distinct, the cold spots more pronounced, and the figures in the shadows more noticeable. Joggers, cyclists, and late-night walkers often recount feeling an overwhelming sense of dread or melancholy, sometimes accompanied by phantom voices or sudden movements. The juxtaposition of the park's modern beauty with its haunted history creates a surreal and unsettling atmosphere after dark. Paranormal investigators have made multiple visits to Margaret T. Hance Park over the years, often reporting similar experiences. Some claim to have captured faint figures on camera, recorded unexplained sounds, or felt sudden pressure changes in empty areas. Others have noted electrical anomalies or the sensation of an unseen presence moving through the park. These findings, while anecdotal, have reinforced the idea that the land retains a connection to its past, allowing the spirits of the buried to manifest in subtle but perceptible ways. Despite its haunted reputation, Margaret T. Hance Park remains a popular destination for residents and tourists alike. Families picnic on the lawns, couples stroll along the winding paths, and children play in the playgrounds, often unaware of the history beneath their feet. Yet, for those who are sensitive to the supernatural, or who venture to the park in the early morning or late evening, the lingering presence of the past is unmistakable. Shadowy figures, cold spots, whispers, and fleeting sensations serve as reminders that the spirits of the land have never fully moved on. Margaret T. Hance Park exemplifies the coexistence of beauty and the supernatural. While it offers a vibrant space for recreation and community gathering, it also carries echoes of a past that cannot be forgotten. Those who have encountered its ghostly phenomena report experiences that leave lasting impressions, moments that make one pause and wonder whether the spirits of the buried still linger, watching, waiting, and quietly reminding us of the stories that lie beneath the surface. In every corner of the park, from the shaded walkways to the open lawns, there is a sense that the past is never truly gone. The whispers in the trees, the chill in the air, and the fleeting shadows all speak to a history that continues to resonate. For visitors willing to look beyond the surface, Margaret T. Hance Park is not just a place of recreation, but a portal to the past, a place where the living and the spirits of the departed coexist, each silently observing the other. Desert West Park, sprawling across the west side of Phoenix, Arizona, is a popular spot for families, joggers, and evening strollers. Its wide-open fields, shaded groves, and winding walking paths provide a sense of calm and community. Yet, beneath this tranquil surface, Desert West Park has earned a reputation for the unusual and unexplained. Over the years, visitors have reported experiences that hint at a presence beyond the ordinary, a sense that the park is watched, that shadows move where no one should be, and that unseen forces occasionally make themselves known. The most frequently reported phenomena at Desert West Park involve shadowy figures glimpsed in the peripheral vision of those walking the paths. People describe fleeting shapes darting between trees, appearing and disappearing in an instant, leaving only a vague impression of movement. Some witnesses claim these shadows seem to watch from a distance, their forms just out of reach of clarity. When pursued or confronted, they vanish, leaving behind a heavy silence and a feeling that the park has shifted in some imperceptible way. Even during the day, visitors occasionally feel the sensation of being watched. Joggers describe the unsettling awareness that someone or something is following them, even when the paths are empty and the air is still. Dogs brought along for walks often react nervously, barking at empty spaces or refusing to move forward, suggesting that the presence is not only noticed by humans but sensed by animals as well. These experiences are heightened in the park's quieter corners, where open fields meet groves of trees or near the edges of walking trails that wind into less traveled areas. Auditory anomalies are another common feature of Desert West Parks, haunting. Some visitors report hearing footsteps behind them when no one is present, or the rustle of leaves as though someone has passed through, yet the ground shows no sign of movement. On particularly still evenings, faint whispers have been reported, sometimes clear enough to suggest a conversation, other times unintelligible, fading in and out as if carried by the wind. These whispers seem to come from all directions at once, creating a disorienting sensation that leaves witnesses questioning what is real and what is imagined. The park's open fields and tree clusters also contribute to visual disturbances. Late afternoon and twilight are often cited as times when the most activity occurs. Shadows stretch long across the ground, creating shapes that seem almost human. Some visitors report seeing figures standing silently among the trees or gliding across the fields, only to disappear when approached. Others claim that reflective surfaces, ponds, park signage, or even sunlit windows from nearby buildings fictionally reveal movement that vanishes when looked at directly. These sightings are brief but leave a lasting impression, a reminder that the ordinary landscape may conceal something beyond understanding. Local legends suggest that the area Desert West Park occupies has long been a site of activity, both human and natural, before it became a municipal park. Some theorists propose that residual energy from past events lingers in the space, manifesting as shadows, whispers, and other unexplained phenomena, whether tied to the history of the land or generated by the energy of countless visitors over time. These reports have cemented Desert West Park as a location where the ordinary and the supernatural coexist. Several accounts involve interactions that defy conventional explanation. Joggers have described a sudden drop in temperature while running through shaded areas, a cold so intense it causes goosebumps and a feeling of unease. Others have felt a subtle pressure on their shoulders, the sensation of someone standing just behind them, only to find the space empty. Photographers capturing long exposure shots or videos at dusk sometimes notice orbs of light or indistinct shapes in their images, which cannot be accounted for by camera artifacts or natural phenomena. These occurrences, though brief, reinforce the park's reputation for strange activity. Desert West Park is also a place of contrasting energy. By day, it is bright, vibrant, and full of life. Children laugh on the playground, dogs romp across the fields, and families gather for picnics. But as evening falls, the atmosphere subtly changes. Shadows lengthen, the wind carries an eerie stillness, and the park's quieter areas seem to hum with a presence that cannot be seen but is often felt. For those attuned to the unexplained, These moments provide a window into a world layered atop our own, where something unseen moves just beyond the edges of perception. Despite these unsettling reports, Desert West Park remains a beloved part of the community. Its trails, fields, and groves continue to draw visitors daily. But for those who pay attention to the subtle cues, the sudden chills, the whispers in the wind, the fleeting shadows, the park offers an experience that goes beyond the ordinary. It is a place where the natural beauty of open spaces and shade trees is intertwined with the presence of something elusive and otherworldly. Desert West Park reminds us that even familiar spaces can hold secrets, and that the ordinary may hide the extraordinary. The movement of shadowy figures, the whispers that seem to emerge from nowhere, and the sense of being watched all suggest a lingering energy that refuses to remain hidden. For those who venture into its quiet corners, the park offers more than recreation. It offers an encounter with the mysterious, the unexplained, and the hauntingly real. Visitors leave with memories not only of scenic walks and open fields, but of moments that are unsettling, intriguing, and impossible to forget. Papago Park, nestled in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is famous for its distinctive red sandstone buttes, desert trails, and panoramic views of the city skyline. By day, it is a haven for hikers, cyclists, and families exploring the park's natural beauty. The winding trails offer everything from easy strolls to more challenging climbs, and the rock formations provide breathtaking vistas that attract photographers and nature enthusiasts alike. Yet, behind the park's serene appearance lies a history steeped in mystery and reports of ghostly encounters that have persisted for decades, giving Papago Park a reputation as one of the eeriest outdoor locations in the Phoenix area. Hikers and visitors frequently describe seeing figures moving in the distance among the sandstone formations, often at dawn or dusk when the light casts long shadows across the desert floor. These figures are typically humanoid in shape but vanish when approached. Some witnesses report the sensation of having been watched for extended periods, noticing movement out of the corner of their eye, only to find nothing thereupon turning. The sudden disappearance of these figures creates an unnerving experience, leaving hikers with an eerie impression that they were being observed by something unseen. The park is also known for disembodied voices that echo through the rocks. Visitors have reported hearing whispers, sometimes indistinct murmurs, and other times clear phrases that seem to call their names. These sounds often appear near narrow passages or natural alcoves formed by the sandstone, amplifying the effect and creating a sensation that the voices are coming from all directions at once. Some hikers have described the voices as urgent or pleading, while others hear laughter or the sound of footsteps crunching on the desert gravel when no one else is present. Several areas of Papago Park have gained particular notoriety for paranormal activity. The iconic Holintharok Formation, a naturally eroded opening atop one of the sandstone buttes, is frequently cited as a hotspot. Visitors climbing the steps to the opening report feeling sudden chills, hearing whispers, or catching fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures against the red rock walls. Some even claim to have felt an inexplicable pressure, as if an unseen presence were watching them from the crevices above. These experiences are often accompanied by a profound sense of unease, lingering long after hikers have left the area. Other locations within the park, including quiet desert trails and hidden alcoves, have similar reports. Hikers have felt cold gusts of wind in the middle of a hot day, experienced sudden drops in temperature, or heard footsteps following them along deserted paths. Dogs brought along on hikes often react unusually, barking or refusing to enter certain areas. Some visitors even report seeing shadowy shapes darting between the sandstone formations, only to vanish as quickly as they appeared. The history of Papago Park adds context to these eerie occurrences. The area has been inhabited for thousands of years, first by Native American tribes, such as the Hohokam, who left behind artifacts, irrigation canals, and settlements. Later, European settlers and early Phoenix residents traversed the land, sometimes leaving behind traces of tragedy or hardship. Many locals believe that the spirits of those who lived, worked, or died in the area continued to linger, tied to the desert landscape and the sandstone formations that dominate it. The park's unique geological features may also play a role, creating natural acoustics and optical illusions that amplify the feeling of being watched or make distant shadows appear human. Nighttime amplifies Papago Park's mysterious qualities. As the sun sets and the desert cools, the park takes on a new, more ominous character. Shadows stretch across the trails, the wind whistles through the rocks, and the silence becomes more pronounced. Visitors report that the figures become more noticeable, the whispers more distinct, and the feeling of being observed intensifies. Many hikers have noted that even in areas well lit by city lights, the desert seems alive with an unseen presence, turning the familiar landscape into something profoundly unsettling. Photographers and paranormal enthusiasts have tried to document these occurrences, capturing unusual shadows, fleeting figures, and inexplicable lights among the rocks. While skeptics attribute many of these phenomena to optical illusions, wind, or the natural acoustics of the sandstone formations, the consistency of eyewitness reports over decades suggests that Papago Park retains a mysterious energy that continues to affect those who enter it. In addition to visual and auditory experiences, some visitors report tactile sensations, cold brushes along the arm, the feeling of a hand lightly touching their back, or a sudden pressure in the chest are common accounts. These occurrences often happen near the sandstone formations or along secluded trails, reinforcing the impression that the park itself is imbued with lingering energy or inhabited by spirits. Despite its haunted reputation, Papago Park remains a beloved destination for locals and tourists. Its hiking trails, rock formations, and scenic overlooks attract thousands of visitors each year. Families picnic in the shade of desert trees, photographers capture the red rocks at sunrise and sunset, and hikers enjoy the challenge of climbing to viewpoints that offer expansive views of the city. Yet, those who venture into the park alone, particularly at dusk or night, may encounter the shadows, whispers, and chills that have made Papago Park a focal point for ghost stories and unexplained phenomena. Papago Park exemplifies how natural beauty and mystery can coexist. Its sandstone formations and desert trails provide breathtaking scenery, while the reported paranormal experiences remind visitors that the landscape carries a history that is not entirely of the living world. Shadowy figures, disembodied voices, sudden chills, and the sensation of being watched all serve as subtle reminders that Papago Park may be a place where the past and present intersect, and where unseen entities quietly linger among the rocks, watching over the desert landscape. For hikers, photographers, and the curious alike, Papago Park offers more than just natural beauty. It is a place where the extraordinary meets the ordinary, where every shadow, whisper, or unexplained movement hints at stories hidden just beyond the visible, waiting for those willing to explore the park's darker, quieter corners. South Mountain Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is not only one of the largest municipal parks in the United States, but also a landscape rich in history, culture, and mystery. Spanning over 16,000 acres of desert wilderness, the park encompasses rugged mountains, deep canyons, and miles of hiking trails that wind through saguaro-studded landscapes. By day, visitors enjoy panoramic views of the city, wildlife sightings, and trails that challenge hikers of all levels. Yet, beneath its breathtaking beauty lies a deep and haunting history. The land was once home to the Hohokam people, whose presence is still felt, according to local lore, in the form of lingering spirits, strange lights, and unexplained phenomena that have puzzled visitors for generations. Hikers and parkgoers have long reported witnessing unusual lights darting among the hills at night. Often described as small orbs or glowing figures, these lights appear without warning, hovering near trails or flickering across ridges before vanishing entirely. Some visitors believe the lights are manifestations of the Hohokam, a civilization that thrived in the region for over a millennium, leaving behind intricate canal systems and artifacts long hidden beneath the desert floor. These lights are often accompanied by a sense of being watched, an invisible presence that seems to follow hikers as they navigate the park's winding paths. In addition to the lights, South Mountain Park is known for eerie sounds that defy explanation. Walkers have reported the soft echoes of footsteps along deserted trails, the distant murmurs of voices, or even the faint rhythm of drums carried on the wind. While some attribute these noises to the natural acoustics of the desert or nocturnal animals, many visitors insist that the sounds have an uncanny, human qualities, suggesting that they are echoes from the distant past, particularly near the higher ridges and shaded canyons. Chills that seem to pass directly through their bodies, and a weight in the air that is difficult to shake. Some of the most unnerving reports come from those who hike alone after dark. Shadowy figures have been seen moving swiftly across the trails, vanishing when approached. Witnesses describe shapes that resemble human forms but appear translucent, almost as if the Hohokam themselves are wandering the land once more. These apparitions are often accompanied by a feeling of profound sadness or urgency, leaving hikers with an impression that the spirits are attempting to communicate or lead them somewhere. Pets, particularly dogs, often react strongly to these presences, barking, growling, or refusing to enter certain areas of the park. The history of the Hohokam people and their connection to the land provides context for the park's eerie reputation. The Hohokam were skilled agriculturalists, building extensive canal networks to irrigate the desert. Their settlements, however, vanished mysteriously centuries ago, leaving behind only artifacts, pottery, and remnants of their sophisticated culture. Some historians and locals believe that the spirits of the Hohokam may remain tied to the landscape, watching over the desert they once cultivated. Legends suggest that the lights and sounds reported in the park are not random occurrences, but manifestations of these spirits, a lingering presence that refuses to fade despite the passage of time. Visitors have also reported otherworldly phenomena during the day. On quiet mornings, hikers sometimes hear whispers that seem to come from nowhere, or glimpses of figures standing among the rocks and saguaro, only to disappear when looked at directly. Others describe sudden feelings of disorientation or unease, as if the landscape itself is subtly shifting around them. Even experienced hikers and desert dwellers find themselves unnerved by these experiences, unable to explain why a familiar trail feels charged with tension, or why shadows seem to move independently of natural light sources. Certain areas of South Mountain Park are more prone to reports of paranormal activity. The higher peaks, ridges, and deep canyons, where sunlight barely penetrates during certain times of day, are commonly cited as hotspots. Visitors in these areas have recounted seeing glowing orbs, misty figures, or fleeting silhouettes that vanish when approached. The combination of dense desert flora, rugged rock formations, and open vistas creates natural settings where the imagination can heighten subtle sensory inputs. Yet the consistency of reports over decades suggests that something more than perception is at play. Paranormal enthusiasts have visited South Mountain Park to investigate these reports, while skeptics argue that desert winds, reflections, and optical illusions account for the phenomena. Many witnesses describe experiences that cannot easily be dismissed. The park, with its blend of natural beauty, historical significance, and unsettling energy, continues to attract those drawn to the mysterious and the unexplained. South Mountain Park exemplifies the way history and the supernatural can coexist in a single location. While it remains a hub for recreation, fitness, and tourism, the persistent reports of ghostly figures, strange lights, and unexplained sounds remind visitors that the land carries a memory of its ancient inhabitants. Hikers, bikers, and explorers who tread the trails may encounter more than just the desert landscape. They might also brush against the lingering presence of the Hohokam, whose spirits continue to inhabit the mountains, watching silently, guiding subtly, or simply bearing witness to a past that refuses to be forgotten. For those willing to venture into the quiet corners, shadowed canyons, and ridges of South Mountain Park, the experience is more than just a hike. It is a journey into a land where the boundary between the present and the past is thin. where the whispers of ancient peoples mingle with the wind, and where the desert holds secrets that are both beautiful and profoundly unsettling. Rio Vista Community Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is often described as a peaceful urban retreat, with its serene lake, walking paths, playgrounds, and shaded picnic areas. By day, families enjoy leisurely strolls along the winding trails. Children laugh as they play near the water, and locals come to escape the bustle of city life. Yet, beneath this tranquil surface lies a history that has given rise to unsettling reports and paranormal activity. Over the years, witnesses and investigators alike have documented strange occurrences that suggest Rio Vista Community Park is more than just a recreational space. It may be a place where unseen forces linger. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at Rio Vista is the sudden and inexplicable drop in temperature. Visitors have noted that while walking along the lakeside paths, the air can shift dramatically, chilling them even on the hottest days. These cold spots often occur in the middle of open areas, away from shade or breeze, creating a sense of unnatural intrusion. The sudden temperature changes are often accompanied by a feeling of being watched, a pervasive sense that something unseen is observing their every movement. Many park goers have also reported encountering a presence that seems to follow them, whether jogging along the trails or sitting quietly by the lake. Visitors describe a subtle pressure, as though someone or something is walking just behind them. Dogs brought to the park often react strongly to this presence, barking at empty spaces, growling, or refusing to approach certain areas. Even those without pets report an acute awareness that they are not entirely alone, and that the quiet serenity of the park is disrupted by an invisible observer. Unexplained auditory phenomena are frequent at Rio Vista Community Park. Witnesses ascribe hearing faint footsteps echoing on the pavement or rustling through the brush where no one else is present. Occasionally, whispers can be heard, low and indistinct, as if carried on the wind from unseen mouths. Some visitors report hearing laughter or the sound of someone splashing in the lake, only to discover that the water remains perfectly still. The combination of auditory and sensory experiences contributes to a growing sense of unease for those exploring the park after dusk. Several areas within the park are particularly associated with paranormal activity. The trails that wind closest to the lake are hotspots, where visitors often report cold drafts, sudden hair-raising sensations, or glimpses of movement out of the corner of their eyes. Some have described shadowy figures standing near the water's edge, visible only for a moment before vanishing completely. Others report seeing fleeting shapes moving along the walking paths or near picnic areas, leaving an impression of humanoid forms that refuse to remain in the physical world. The lake itself is a source of strange occurrences. On quiet evenings, especially when the water is still, witnesses have reported seeing ripples without wind or fish, and even fleeting shapes beneath the surface that vanish when approached. Some claim that lights or glowing orbs appear over the water at night, hovering above the surface before disappearing into the darkness. These sightings, coupled with the lake's natural reflections and the quiet ambience, make it a focal point for unexplained experiences. Historical context adds depth to the park's mysterious reputation. While the land now serves as a public community space, it is believed to have been inhabited long before the park's construction. Past uses of the land, including settlement and development, may have left residual energy behind, though specific records are scarce. Paranormal investigators suggest that these lingering energies interact with modern visitors, manifesting as the sudden temperature drops, ghostly figures, and unexplained sounds commonly reported in the area. For those who venture to Rio Vista Community Park after dark, the experience can be particularly unnerving. Shadows seem to shift and lengthen unnaturally across the walking paths, and the lake reflects movement that does not correspond to any physical presence. Many hikers and joggers report the same phenomena: repeatedly cold spots, sudden chills, whispering voices, and the persistent sensation of being followed. Even those visiting in groups sometimes experience a quiet isolation, as if each person is being individually observed by a presence that remains just out of sight. Paranormal enthusiasts have conducted investigations at the park over the years, documenting temperature anomalies, unexplained recordings, and fleeting visual phenomena. While skeptics argue that environmental factors such as wind, reflections, or optical illusions account for many of these experiences, the consistency of reports suggests that Rio Vista Community Park possesses an energy that continues to intrigue and unsettle. Whether these manifestations are residual echoes of the past or active spirits, visitors cannot ignore the park's unusual aura. Despite its eerie reputation, Rio Vista Community Park remains a beloved location for recreation and leisure. During the day, it offers a peaceful escape, scenic views, and family-friendly activities. Yet, for those who linger after sunset or wander along the secluded lakeside trails, the park reveals a different, haunting side. Sudden chills, disembodied whispers, fleeting shadows, and the ever-present feeling of being watched transform the serene community space into a location where the ordinary and the paranormal intersect. For anyone drawn to the mysterious or the unexplained, Rio Vista Community Park provides more than just picturesque views. It is a place where the past seems to linger, where unseen presences quietly observe, and where the calm waters of the lake conceal stories that remain untold. Every step along its paths, every breeze across the lake, and every flicker of light in the shadows serves as a reminder that even in the heart of a bustling city, the boundary between the living and the unseen is thinner than one might expect. Washington Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is known for its sprawling lawns, shaded picnic areas, playgrounds, and sports facilities, making it a favorite destination for families, joggers, and community events. By day, the park is filled with laughter, the chatter of children on swings and slides, and the hum of people enjoying the desert sun. But beneath the cheerful activity, a darker, more mysterious presence has been reported by locals and visitors alike. Stories of shadowy figures, unexplained noises, and sudden chills have long given Washington Park a reputation as one of the city's more unsettling urban locations. Many visitors report seeing figures lurking near the playground, particularly after sunset. These apparitions are often described as dark, humanoid shapes, sometimes fleetingly visible near swings, slides, or benches. Witnesses have recounted the sensation of being watched while walking through the playground alone, only to glance up and see nothing there. In some cases, the figures appear to move on their own, disappearing when approached or vanishing into thin air. Children are sometimes the first to notice these presences, pointing out shadows that adults cannot immediately see, adding to the park's eerie reputation. The park is also known for strange auditory phenomena. Visitors have described hearing footsteps echoing along empty paths, whispers carried on the breeze, and even laughter that seems to faint and distorted to belong to anyone nearby. Some have reported hearing the sound of objects being moved, swings creaking or balls bouncing when no one else is around. These experiences often leave a lingering unease, as if the normal sounds of the park are being subtly manipulated by an unseen presence. Certain areas of Washington Park appear to be hotspots for paranormal activity. The playground, especially the areas surrounding the swings and climbing structures, is frequently cited by those who have experienced sightings. Open lawns and shaded pathways are also notable for sudden temperature drops and the sensation of being followed. Some visitors have felt cold brushes against their arms or shoulders, as if invisible hands are reaching out, while others report the inexplicable feeling of a heavy presence looming nearby. Dogs accompanying their owners often react strongly in these areas, barking, growling, or refusing to advance, further suggesting that the environment is not entirely ordinary. The park's history adds context to these unsettling experiences. Though primarily a recreational area today, Washington Park occupies land that has seen decades of human activity, including residential and commercial developments nearby. Some locals speculate that past events, tragedies, accidents, or even previous settlements may have left residual energy, lingering on the grounds and manifesting as unexplained phenomena. While records of specific incidents are limited, The consistency of eyewitness accounts over the years suggests that something beyond natural explanations may be at work. Even during daylight hours, visitors occasionally notice subtle, inexplicable occurrences. Shadows seem to shift independently of the sun. Rustling leaves appear to move with no wind, and objects like benches or trash cans seem slightly out of place when attention is diverted. These small, disorienting details contribute to the park's haunted reputation, creating the impression that the environment itself is subtly alive with unseen activity. Many people report feeling uneasy or on edge without any clear reason, a psychological response that may be linked to the lingering energy of past events. After dark, Washington Park's atmosphere becomes markedly more ominous. Trails and playgrounds that are bright and welcoming during the day take on a different character as shadows lengthen and the park empties. Visitors walking alone after sunset often report heightened awareness, noticing every sound and movement, and sensing presences that defy explanation. Shadowy forms appear more distinct, whispers and footsteps more pronounced, and the feeling of being watched intensifies. Even in areas illuminated by streetlights, the park seems to hold spaces where darkness clings unnaturally, making the familiar feel strange and unsettling. Photographers and paranormal enthusiasts have attempted to document these occurrences. Some have captured shadowy figures on film, while others report unexplained lights or movements that defy easy explanation. Audio recordings sometimes capture footsteps, whispers, or ambient sounds that are not consistent with normal park activity. Skeptics may argue that these are the results of imagination, optical illusions, or environmental factors, but the frequency and similarity of reports over decades suggest that Washington Park possesses an energy that continues to intrigue and unsettle those who enter it. Despite its haunted reputation, Washington Park remains a popular community space. Families continue to picnic, children play on the swings, and joggers traverse its paths daily. Yet for those who explore the park with heightened awareness, particularly in the evenings or in secluded areas, the stories of shadowy figures, unexplained noises, and chilling presences transform a familiar urban park into a location where the ordinary and the paranormal intersect. Washington Park serves as a reminder that even the most mundane, everyday locations can carry echoes of the past. While it offers recreation and natural beauty, it also harbors mysteries that are unseen but deeply felt. Shadowy figures near the playground, whispers along empty paths, sudden chills, and the sensation of being followed are experiences that have persisted across generations, leaving visitors with the sense that the park is more than it appears. For those who venture carefully, attuned to the subtle hints of its supernatural side, Washington Park is a place where the boundaries between the living and the unseen blur, and where the quiet echoes of history remain just out of reach, lurking in the shadows of swings, trees, and open lawns. Alhambra Park in Phoenix, Arizona, is a place of serene beauty, historic charm, and winding paths lined with mature trees and well-kept gardens. By day, it welcomes families, joggers, and locals seeking a quiet retreat from the bustling city. Children laugh as they play, couples stroll hand in hand, and the sun glimmers off benches and fountains scattered throughout the park. Yet, despite this peaceful daytime appearance, Alhambra Park has a darker side. For decades, residents and visitors have reported experiences that suggest the presence of spirits lingering among the shadows, leaving many to wonder if the park carries the echoes of its past. One of the most commonly reported phenomena is the sound of footsteps echoing through the park at night. Visitors often describe walking along empty pathways, only to hear the unmistakable sound of someone following them. The footsteps sometimes mirror their own pace, growing louder as they pause and fading when they stop, creating a chilling sense of being watched. These experiences are not isolated. Multiple witnesses over the years have recounted similar encounters, often in the same areas of the park, suggesting that the sounds may be tied to specific locations with lingering energy. In addition to footsteps, Alhambra Park is known for unexplained voices and whispers. Some visitors report hearing snippets of conversation in the darkness, Voices so faint they can't make out the words, yet unmistakably human. Others describe laughter or murmurs drifting from shaded corners where no one is visible. These auditory phenomena often provoke a sense of unease, especially when heard in areas far from the street or other sources of urban noise. Some believe the voices are remnants of past residents or parkgoers who left an energetic imprint on the land, their presence captured in the atmosphere of the park long after they have gone. Shadowy figures are another hallmark of Alhambra Park's paranormal reputation. Visitors have reported seeing fleeting shapes moving just beyond the edge of vision, vanishing when approached. These figures are often described as human-like but indistinct, their forms blurred or partially transparent. Some witnesses claim to have seen people in old-fashioned attire, reminiscent of an earlier era, standing silently among the trees or walking along pathways before disappearing. Children and pets are sometimes the first to notice these presences, reacting with fear or curiosity toward spaces where no one else is visible, further suggesting that something unseen inhabits the park. Certain areas of Alhambra Park appear to be hotspots for these encounters. Pathways lined with dense trees, shaded garden corners, and spaces near historic structures are often cited by witnesses as locations where cold spots, whispers, or apparitions are most likely to occur. Even during daylight hours, visitors sometimes feel an unexplainable tension or heaviness in the air, a subtle awareness that the space is more than just a park. The combination of historical significance, natural elements, and lingering human activity seems to create an environment ripe for paranormal phenomena. The park's history adds further depth to its eerie reputation. Alhambra Park has long been a gathering place for the community, and its grounds have seen countless events, celebrations, and daily life unfold over decades. While no single tragedy is widely documented, the accumulation of years, experiences, and memories may have left an energetic imprint on the landscape. Some researchers suggest that repeated human activity, particularly emotionally charged moments, can leave behind residual energy that manifests as visual or auditory phenomena. This may explain the consistent reports of footsteps, whispers, and shadowy figures. Many paranormal enthusiasts and investigators have visited Alhambra Park to document these unusual occurrences. They have reported sudden temperature drops, unexplained sounds, and fleeting figures captured on camera or video. While skeptics argue that wind, light, and natural environmental factors could account for some experiences, the consistency and repetition of these reports across different witnesses and decades suggest that the park is indeed home to a presence that defies conventional explanation. The park, by day a safe and welcoming recreational space, transforms after dark into a place where the line between the present and the past seems thin. A quiet pathway can suddenly feel alive with unseen movement. A shaded garden corner may echo with whispers. A figure glimpsed among the trees can vanish in an instant, leaving only the lingering impression of its existence. These experiences leave many with the sense that Alhambra Park holds memories and spirits from eras long past, quietly observing the modern world that has grown up around them. Despite its reputation for paranormal activity, Alhambra Park continues to be a cherished location for recreation, family gatherings, and outdoor enjoyment. Its charm, beauty, and historical significance draw countless visitors every year. Yet, for those willing to venture along the paths at night, or pay close attention to the subtle signs around the shaded gardens and historic structures, the park offers an entirely different experience, a chance to witness, however briefly, the lingering presence of its past. Alhambra Park stands as a testament to the way places can carry history, memory, and energy long after the people who once walked them have gone. The faint footsteps, whispered voices, and shadowy figures reported here are reminders that the land has a story to tell. A story that is sometimes quiet and sometimes unmistakably felt. For those who explore its trails and gardens with attentiveness and curiosity, Alhambra Park is not just a beautiful urban oasis, it is a space where the past lingers, where unseen presences quietly observe, and where the ordinary and the supernatural coexist in delicate balance. Rose Mofford Sports Complex in Phoenix, Arizona, is widely recognized as a bustling hub for athletic events, community sports leagues, and recreational activities. By day, the complex is alive with the sounds of basketballs bouncing, whistles blowing, and sneakers squeaking across the polished floors. Families, coaches, and athletes fill the arenas, enjoying everything from soccer and basketball to track and field events. Yet, beneath the energetic atmosphere and bright lights lies a darker, unexplained presence that has intrigued visitors and participants for years. Multiple reports of paranormal activity suggest that the complex may harbor more than just the echoes of cheering crowds. One of the most commonly reported experiences comes from the locker rooms. Athletes and coaches alike have described an unsettling sensation of being watched or followed while preparing for games. Some have reported cold drafts sweeping through the spaces despite closed doors and windows, or the sudden feeling of someone standing just behind them when no one is present. Objects sometimes appear slightly out of place: towels moved, lockers left ajar, or personal belongings shifted without explanation. Many describe these disturbances as fleeting but distinct, leaving a lingering unease that is hard to shake. Footsteps echoing through empty halls are another frequent phenomenon reported at Rose Mofford Sports Complex. Late-night maintenance workers, athletes staying behind for practice, and security personnel have all reported hearing the sound of hurried steps along the corridors when no one else is in the building. In some instances, the footsteps match the rhythm of the listener's own steps, almost as if an unseen companion is mirroring their movements. Attempts to locate the source often prove fruitless, and the sounds fade as mysteriously as they arrive. These auditory experiences create a sense of presence, reinforcing the idea that the complex may be more than a mere building filled with memories. Locker rooms and hallways are not the only areas where paranormal activity has been reported. The gymnasium itself, despite the echoing sounds of bouncing balls and cheering crowds during the day, can feel different when empty. Athletes who stay late for practice occasionally speak of shadows flitting across the sidelines or the feeling of someone moving in the upper bleachers. Some have even claimed to see indistinct human shapes near the entrances or stairwells, vanishing when approached. The combination of shadowy figures, unexplained noises, and sudden chills creates an atmosphere that can be both unnerving and mysterious. Several athletes recount incidents during intense games or training sessions where the energy in the complex feels inexplicably heavy. They describe moments when the air suddenly seems colder, their movements slowed by an invisible weight, or a shiver running down their spine as if someone or something is observing from the sidelines. Even seasoned athletes who are accustomed to hyper-sure environments report that these sensations are unlike anything else, leaving them unsettled despite the familiar surroundings. The history of the Rose Mofford Sports Complex contributes to the stories of hauntings, though primarily a recreational and competitive venue today. The land has hosted countless events over the years, from tournaments to community gatherings, and have seen both triumphs and heartbreaks. Some speculate that emotional energy, particularly from highly charged moments like victories, losses, or personal struggles, can leave a residual imprint on the environment. This lingering energy could explain the repeated reports of unseen presences, footsteps, and shadowy figures that continue to be experienced by visitors. Late-night maintenance workers and security personnel have been among the most frequent witnesses to paranormal occurrences. Many describe hearing doors creak open and close on their own, lights flickering unexpectedly. While some occurrences can be attributed to the building's age, electrical systems, or natural settling, many of the events defy conventional explanation, particularly when multiple people report similar phenomena in the same locations over time. Paranormal investigators have occasionally visited the complex to document these unusual experiences. Using thermal cameras, EVP recordings, and other detection equipment, they have reported unexplained temperature drops, fleeting orbs of light, and ambient sounds that cannot be attributed to natural sources. while skeptics suggest that optical illusions or environmental factors may account for some sightings. The consistency and repetition of reports suggest that the complex maintains a presence that continues to intrigue and unsettle those who enter. Despite its haunted reputation, the Rosemofford Sports Complex remains a vibrant community hub. Teams continue to train, leagues play, and families gather to enjoy sports and recreation. Yet for those who are sensitive to the unexplained, the complex offers more than just athletic challenges. The hallways, locker rooms, and gymnasiums may carry echoes of past events, lingering presences, and unseen observers quietly watching the activity unfold. For athletes, coaches, and late-night visitors, Rosemofford Sports Complex provides an unusual blend of energy and mystery. The combination of intense physical activity, historical significance, and reported paranormal encounters creates an environment that is as intriguing as it is unsettling. Shadowy figures near the lockers, footsteps echoing down empty halls, sudden chills, and disembodied whispers all contribute to an experience that extends beyond the ordinary. Rosemofford Sports Complex stands as a reminder that even places filled with laughter, competition, and camaraderie can harbor secrets. Beneath the bright lights and the sound of cheering crowds, the complex is a space where unseen presences may linger, silently observing and occasionally making their presence known. For those willing to explore after hours or pay attention to the subtle signs around the locker rooms and gym floors, the sports complex is a location where the boundary between the familiar and the supernatural feels unexpectedly thin, leaving visitors with stories that are as chilling as they are unforgettable. Sunny Slope Park, perched in the foothills of Phoenix, Arizona, is celebrated for its stunning vistas, rugged trails, and panoramic views of the city below. Hikers flock to the park for its serene walking paths, rock formations, and the quiet beauty of the desert landscape. By day, the sun illuminates the cacti and scrub brush, casting long shadows across the hills and creating a picture-perfect environment for outdoor enthusiasts. Yet, behind this scenic beauty lies a history of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena, leaving many visitors unsettled and cautious, especially when the park is quiet and the trails are empty. One of the most frequently reported experiences at Sunny Slope Park involves sightings of figures watching from the ridges. Hikers and trailgoers have described glimpsing shadowy silhouettes standing motionless atop the hills, often just at the edge of their vision. When approached, these figures vanish, leaving behind no trace and a lingering sense of unease. Some witnesses have noted that the figures seem disproportionately tall or unnaturally still, as if they do not belong to the natural environment. The experience often leaves hikers with a feeling that they are being observed, even when the landscape appears entirely deserted. Whispers carried by the wind are another phenomenon that many visitors report. On quiet days, when the park is largely empty, hikers have heard faint voices murmuring from the ridges or across the canyons. These whispers are often indistinct, sometimes sounding like fragmented words or distant conversations, but always unnervingly close. The sound seems to drift in and out, sometimes giving the impression of a presence just beyond reach. Some hikers describe these whispers as warm or sorrowful, while others find them cold and unsettling, leaving an impression that the voices are not of this world. The park's trails themselves seem to hold an unusual energy. Hikers frequently report sudden chills or a drop in temperature in specific areas, particularly near dense brush or narrow ridges. These temperature shifts occur even during the heat of the day, and are often accompanied by the sensation of being followed. Dogs brought along on these hikes are especially sensitive, sometimes barking at empty spaces or refusing to continue along certain paths. These subtle signs, combined with visual and auditory experiences, create an environment where the natural beauty of the park is shadowed by the presence of something unseen. Many areas within Sunny Slope Park have been identified as hotspots for paranormal activity. Rocky outcrops overlooking the city, narrow canyons along the trails, and secluded patches of trees and shrubs are all locations where visitors report the most intense experiences. Shadowy figures are frequently spotted along the ridges, Whispers are heard drifting through the wind, and sudden chills can strike with no explanation. Even casual hikers often find themselves unnerved by the eerie stillness that descends upon these areas, particularly in the late afternoon when the sun begins to dip and the shadows lengthen across the hills. The history of Sunny Slope Park adds another layer to its enigmatic reputation. While the park is now a public recreational space, the surrounding foothills have long been inhabited and traversed, and local legends speak of ancient Native American presence in the area. Some speculate that the whispers and apparitions may be residual energy from those who once lived or passed through the land. Others suggest that the figures watching from the ridges are guardians or spirits connected to the history of the region, manifesting in a way that modern visitors can sense but not fully comprehend. Several hikers have described moments where the park feels almost alive with attention. As they navigate the trails, they feel as if invisible eyes are tracking their movements, creating a tension that grows with each step. Some report seeing shadows dart across open spaces, figures that appear at the top of a ridge, or reflections in the rocks that do not correspond to their own image. These experiences, though fleeting, often leave a profound impression, making even the most experienced hikers pause and reconsider their surroundings. Auditory anomalies are particularly unsettling at Sunny Slope Park. In addition to whispers, hikers have reported hearing footsteps on the rocky trails behind them, when no one else is present. Some have heard soft rustling in the bushes, or the sound of distant voices carried down the canyons, only for the sounds to vanish when they attempt to locate the source. These auditory experiences, combined with visual sightings and sudden chills, create an atmosphere in which the park's beauty is interlaced with a subtle, haunting presence. Despite these eerie reports, Sunny Slope Park remains a popular destination. Families, joggers, photographers, and casual hikers continue to explore the trails and enjoy the sweeping views of the city and desert landscape. By day, the park is vibrant with activity, and the haunting phenomena often fade beneath the sounds of nature and human presence. Yet for those who venture alone, especially in the early morning or late afternoon, the whispers, shadows, and unexplainable chills make the park a place where the ordinary and the supernatural coexist in delicate balance. Sunny Slope Park is a reminder that even the most scenic and seemingly tranquil locations can harbor mysteries beneath their surface. Shadowy figures watching from ridges, whispers drifting on the wind, sudden chills, and the sensation of being followed all suggest that the park is more than just a natural retreat. It is a space where the past and present intersect, where the land itself seems aware of those who walk its trails, and where the unseen continues to watch and whisper, quietly shaping the experiences of those who wander through its foothills. Encanto Golf Course in Phoenix, Arizona, is known for its sprawling fairways, meticulously kept greens, and scenic views of the surrounding cityscape. By day, golfers navigate the rolling terrain, enjoying the sport and the crisp desert air. The course, once a hub of social gatherings, charity tournaments, and community events, now holds an unusual reputation that extends far beyond the game itself. For years, visitors and late-night wanderers have reported experiences that suggest the fairways are haunted, with sightings of mysterious figures and unexplained sounds leaving an eerie mark on the course. One of the most frequently reported phenomena involves shadowy figures walking the fairways after dark. Golfers practicing late, course maintenance workers, and nighttime security personnel have all described glimpsing human-like shapes moving across the grass. These figures often appear to be strolling leisurely, as if playing a game of their own, and vanish when approached. Witnesses sometimes report that the figures are dressed in old-fashioned attire, reminiscent of earlier decades when the course was first bustling with visitors. The fleeting nature of these sightings leaves those who witness them with a sense of being watched by presences from another time. Alongside visual apparitions, auditory phenomena are commonly reported at Encanto Golf Course. Many visitors describe the sound of footsteps echoing behind them on empty fairways or near the putting greens. Even when no one else is present, the footsteps often mimic the pace and rhythm of the observer, creating a chilling sense of being followed. In some cases, golfers have stopped mid-swing, only to hear the soft tapping of shoes on grass coming closer. And when they turn, the sound abruptly stops. The combination of movement and silence creates a haunting experience that has been recounted by multiple witnesses over the years. The clubhouse and surrounding pathways are also areas of reported paranormal activity. Late-night workers or visitors often describe sudden chills, inexplicable creaks, and doors opening or closing without cause. Some have heard faint laughter or murmured conversations drifting from empty spaces, particularly in the areas where social gatherings were once held. The sounds seem to carry a nostalgic quality, as if echoes of the past are replaying through the present, leaving a ghostly imprint on the course. These experiences often evoke a strange mixture of curiosity and unease, as though the course itself remembers its vibrant history. Several golfers recount moments when the energy of the course feels heavy or oppressive, particularly during quiet evenings. The familiar landscape of fairways, sand traps, and greens can suddenly feel different, almost alive. Shadows appear deeper, and even the gentle rustle of the wind through the desert brush can take on an unsettling quality. Some have described seeing silhouettes in the distance that disappear when approached, or noticing lights glinting oddly on the greens, as if reflecting an unseen presence. These subtle anomalies contribute to Encanto Golf Course's reputation as a place where the ordinary and the supernatural intersect. Encanto Golf Course has long been a community gathering place, hosting countless tournaments, social events, and recreational activities. The site has seen decades of human emotion, from triumph and celebration to disappointment and frustration on the fairways. Some paranormal researchers suggest that places that have hosted strong emotional energy over long periods can retain residual impressions, creating the conditions for apparitions, sounds, or sensations to manifest. This may explain the consistent reports of figures walking the fairways and the mysterious auditory phenomena experienced by visitors. Even the natural landscape of Encanto Golf Course seems to enhance these eerie experiences. Wide-open fairways, gentle undulations, and scattered trees create long lines of sight where shadows and figures can appear unexpectedly. At night, the interplay of moonlight and darkness casts unusual patterns across the grass, amplifying the perception of movement or presence. The isolation of the course after hours further heightens the senses, making the faintest sound or movement seem significant, and increasing the likelihood that observers will notice subtle or supernatural phenomena. Maintenance staff working late are often among the first to encounter the unexplained. Many report hearing footsteps on empty paths, seeing figures moving silently across fairways, or feeling an invisible presence brushing past them. Some have captured strange images on security cameras, blurs, or shadowy shapes that cannot be explained by ordinary movement. Audio recordings occasionally reveal faint footsteps or voices that cannot be accounted for. While skeptics might attribute these experiences to fatigue, imagination, or environmental factors, the consistency of reports from multiple individuals over decades points to something more elusive and mysterious lingering at Encanto Golf Course. Despite its reputation for paranormal activity, the course continues to operate as a recreational hub. Golfers play the rounds, community events take place, and the natural beauty of the desert landscape continues to attract visitors. Yet for those paying close attention, especially during late evening hours or after dark, the course offers a markedly different experience. Shadowy figures walking the fairways, the sound of footsteps echoing behind, sudden chills, and whispered voices all contribute to an atmosphere that extends beyond the physical game. Encanto Golf Course serves as a reminder that even locations associated with leisure and recreation can carry a history and energy that lingers long after people have left. The echoes of past events, the presence of unseen observers, and the inexplicable auditory and visual phenomena create an environment where the ordinary becomes unsettling. For those who explore the course with awareness, it is not merely a place to play golf, but a landscape where the past and present intersect. and where the spirits of history may still roam quietly among the fairways, greens, and silent sand traps. Cave Creek Park, located on the outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona, is known for its rugged terrain, sprawling desert landscape, and the network of hidden caves that dot its hillsides. By day, hikers and explorers are drawn to the park's natural beauty, its rocky cliffs, desert flora, and panoramic views of the surrounding valley. Yet, beneath the scenic surface lies a history of mystery and unexplained phenomena that has captured the imagination of locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Over the years, visitors to Cave Creek Park have reported strange occurrences that hint at something far beyond ordinary hiking experiences. One of the most common accounts involves voices heard echoing from deep within the caves. Hikers entering the winding tunnels often report hearing whispers or murmurs that seem to come from unseen sources. These sounds are described as indistinct, sometimes almost conversational, yet impossible to trace to any living being. The echoes are particularly unsettling because they seem to respond to movement, shifting in tone and volume, as if the cave itself is aware of the intruder. Those who have ventured deep into the cave system often recount a growing sense of unease, an invisible pressure that seems to intensify with each step further into the darkness. Shadows are another frequent phenomenon reported at Cave Creek Park. Many visitors describe fleeting shapes appearing at the edge of their vision, darting between rocks or lingering in the corners of their eyes. These shadows often move independently of the hiker, disappearing when directly looked at, yet always present in the periphery. Some witnesses have reported seeing vaguely human forms, tall and indistinct, while others speak of amorphous shapes that seem to blend into the desert landscape. The combination of sunlight streaming through the rocky cliffs and the twisting contours of the caves makes it difficult to discern what is natural and what might be supernatural. Adding to the park's enigmatic reputation, the terrain of Cave Creek Park itself contributes to the eerie experiences. Narrow trails wind between boulders and cliffs, creating isolated pockets where a visitor can feel completely cut off from the outside world. Some hikers have reported a sudden drop in temperature when passing certain caves or rock formations, chills that appear out of place in the Arizona heat. Others have felt an invisible presence following them along the trails, an unsettling sensation of being watched or even guided by unseen eyes. Dogs accompanying hikers often react nervously, barking at empty spaces or refusing to enter certain areas, reinforcing the sense that something unseen occupies these spaces. Explorers who have spent time photographing the caves have sometimes captured strange anomalies. Long exposure shots and video recordings occasionally reveal orbs of light, unexplained mist, or blurred figures that were not visible at the time of shooting. These images provide a visual hint of the activity that eludes the naked eye and suggest that the park holds layers of phenomena that remain largely hidden. Even experienced hikers familiar with the landscape report feeling an unexplainable tension, a sense that the park itself is alive with memories or energies that linger from past events. Local legends and historical accounts add to the park's mysterious aura. Cave Creek Park has long been inhabited and traversed, from Native American tribes to early settlers, each leaving traces of their presence. Paranormal theorists suggest that places with a long history of human activity can accumulate residual energy, which may manifest as whispers, shadows, or unexplained sensations. In Cave Creek Park, this energy seems particularly concentrated around the caves and rocky outcrops, where echoes of the past might still linger in the stones. Despite its reputation for strangeness, Cave Creek Park continues to attract hikers, climbers, and curious explorers. Its natural beauty remains a strong draw, but those who venture into its caves or wander its secluded paths often leave with more than scenic memories. They return with stories of whispering voices, fleeting shadows, sudden chills, and the haunting feeling of being watched. Cave Creek Park is a place where the ordinary and the extraordinary coexist. By day, it is a destination for outdoor recreation, offering breathtaking views and rugged adventure. Yet for those who pay close attention, it is also a site where the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural blur. the voices echoing from the caves, the shadows that flit at the edge of perception, and the invisible presence felt along isolated trails all hint at something lingering just beyond understanding. Visitors leave with the knowledge that the park is more than a beautiful desert landscape. It is a realm of hidden mysteries, where history, energy, and the unexplained meet in ways that are haunting, unforgettable, and impossible to ignore. Tempe Town Lake, a sprawling man-made reservoir in the heart of Tempe, Arizona, is a hub of recreation and community life. During the day, its calm waters reflect the city skyline, and joggers, cyclists, and families enjoy the surrounding parks and walking paths. Yet beneath its placid surface and vibrant daytime activity lies a darker history, one marked by tragedy, loss, and stories of lingering spirits. For decades, locals and visitors alike have reported unsettling experiences that suggest the lake is more than a recreational space. It may be a place where the dead are unwilling to rest. The lake was constructed in the 1990s, but even in its relatively short history, it has been the site of numerous drownings, accidents, and unexplained disappearances. Swimmers, boaters, and even casual visitors have sometimes vanished without clear explanation, and the waters have earned a reputation for being deceptively dangerous. Many believe that the lake's tragic past has left behind restless spirits, those who perished and now wander the shoreline or drift just beneath the surface, their presence sensed by the living, especially in the early morning or late evening when the park is quiet. These apparitions are often described as translucent shapes, sometimes appearing fully human and other times as faint, shadowy outlines. Joggers or walkers passing by may notice a lone figure standing silently at the shore, only for it to vanish when approached. Some say these figures resemble the young men and women who were lost to the lake over the years, frozen in a moment of anguish or longing, eternally tied to the waters that claimed them. Auditory phenomena are another common occurrence. Visitors often hear splashing sounds when the lake is otherwise still, as if someone is swimming nearby, yet no one is visible. Others have reported faint cries or moans carried across the water, a chilling echo that seems to respond to the wind and the movement of those nearby. These sounds are sporadic and unpredictable, sometimes occurring in complete silence, heightening the sense of unease. Fishermen along the banks have occasionally claimed to hear whispers in their ears or footsteps behind them, even when they are completely alone. Boaters on Tempe Town Lake have their own unsettling experiences. Some describe phantom wakes or ripples moving across the water, as if a boat were gliding silently alongside them. Others report sudden cold drafts sweeping across the deck, despite warm evening temperatures. A few have even claimed to glimpse figures sitting in empty boats, staring silently before fading into the night. These encounters often leave a lingering dread, a sense that the waters themselves are alive and aware, holding memories of those who have died within them. The shoreline and surrounding paths hold their own eerie energy. Joggers and evening walkers sometimes feel an invisible presence trailing them, a subtle pressure or sensation of being watched. Some report seeing shadows moving among the trees, figures that dart in and out of view, always just at the edge of perception. In the dim light of dawn or dusk, the reflection of these apparitions on the water can create an uncanny and unsettling visual, blurring the line between reality and ghostly illusion. Tempe Town Lake has also been a site for unexplained light phenomena. On certain nights, locals have seen flickering lights on or near the water that do not correspond to any boats or street lamps. These lights sometimes move in unnatural patterns, hovering briefly above the surface before disappearing. Photographers attempting long exposures or night shots have occasionally captured orbs or blurred figures in the images. Adding to the lore surrounding the lake, many speculate that these manifestations are tied to the spirits of those who died in its waters, their energy lingering in the areas where they met their end. The tragic nature of the lake's history contributes to its reputation as a haunted location. Each reported death, disappearance, or accident adds a layer of sorrow and unease, leaving behind residual energy that some believe interacts with the living. Those sensitive to paranormal activity often feel this energy most acutely, reporting the strongest sensations near the spots where accidents occurred or along the quieter edges of the lake. Even casual visitors sometimes sense a shift in the atmosphere, a heaviness in the air, a sudden chill, or a feeling of unease that seems to emanate from the water itself. Despite its haunted reputation, Tempe Lake remains a popular destination. Families, athletes, and casual visitors continue to enjoy its parks, trails, and boating facilities. But for those who pay attention to the subtle shadows along the shore, the whispers carried across the water, the phantom figures gliding in the evening light, the lake offers a markedly different experience. It is a place where tragedy and recreation coexist, where the line between the living and the dead is blurred, and where the spirits of the past may still wander, forever tied to the waters that claimed them. Tempe Lake serves as a reminder that even in bustling, modern spaces, and sometimes felt in the deepest corners of perception, shadowy figures walking the shore, mysterious lights dancing on the surface, and the eerie sensation of being watched all suggest that the lake's history is not entirely buried. For those who visit with awareness, Tempe Lake is more than a body of water. It's a place where memories, tragedy, and the supernatural intertwine, leaving behind experiences that are haunting, unforgettable, and chillingly real. Kiwanis Park, nestled in the heart of Tempe, Arizona, is known for its serene lake, well-kept walking paths, and family-friendly atmosphere. By day, it is a hub of recreational activity. Joggers circle the lake. Children play on the playgrounds, and families gather for picnics under the sprawling shade trees. Yet beneath this picturesque exterior, Kiwanis Park holds a darker, more mysterious side. Over the years, numerous visitors have reported experiences that hint at a lingering presence, giving the park a reputation for being quietly haunted. One of the most common reports involves unexplained whispers that seem to drift across the walking paths or along the lake's edge. Visitors describe hearing faint murmurs in the air, as if someone is speaking just out of earshot. These sounds are especially unsettling because they often occur when the park appears empty, leaving those who hear them feeling a sudden and inexplicable unease. Many report that the whispers seem almost conversational, though no one is visible, and they sometimes fade when the listener tries to pinpoint the source. The effect is subtle but persistent, creating a sense that the park itself is alive with hidden voices. Alongside these auditory phenomena, visitors have frequently noted sudden cold spots that appear without warning. On warm, sunny days, joggers and walkers sometimes feel an inexplicable chill as they pass certain areas, particularly near the lake or under clusters of trees. The cold spots often evoke a sensation of being watched, accompanied by a creeping sense of tension or dread. Dogs brought along for walks have been observed reacting nervously in these areas, growling at empty spaces or refusing to move forward, reinforcing the impression that something unseen is present. The lake itself is often at the center of paranormal experiences. Some witnesses claim to see fleeting figures along the shoreline, their shapes blurred and indistinct, appearing only for a few moments before vanishing. Others have reported seeing ripples on the water or shadows moving across the surface. Even on calm days when no breeze or wildlife could account for such disturbances, the reflective nature of the water adds to the disorientation, making it difficult to distinguish between natural phenomena and something far more sinister. Nighttime visitors, in particular, describe an unsettling stillness, where the lake seems to hold its own presence, silently observing those who pass by. Many local legends suggest that the park's history contributes to its eerie atmosphere. Kiwanis Park has been a community gathering place for decades, hosting countless events, social activities, and moments of celebration. Paranormal experts often theorize that locations steeped in human emotion, whether joy, grief, or tension, can retain residual energy, leaving behind subtle imprints that manifest as apparitions, sounds, or unexplained sensations. In Kiwanis Park, the combination of daily life, long-standing human activity, and occasional tragic events may have created the conditions for such phenomena. Visitors also recount moments when shadows seem to move independently along the paths or near the trees. These shadows appear just at the edge of vision, disappearing when looked at directly. Some are vaguely human in shape, while others are amorphous, blending seamlessly into the surroundings. The movement of these shadows often seems purposeful, giving the impression of a presence observing or following the observer. Those who have experienced these phenomena describe a palpable tension, an almost magnetic sense of being drawn into an unseen interaction that is both captivating and deeply unsettling. Even the park's walkways and open fields hold subtle hints of the unexplained. Late evening joggers sometimes hear the soft crunch of footsteps behind them, only to turn and find the path empty, as if the lingering energy of past gatherings weighs on the present. Some photographers and amateur paranormal investigators have captured strange blurs or orbs in images taken along the lake or under trees. These fleeting signs are enough to leave a lasting impression on those who witness them, reinforcing the park's reputation as a quietly haunted location. Despite its eerie tales, Kiwanis Park continues to be a beloved recreational space. Families still gather, joggers still traverse the lake paths, and kayakers still glide across the water. However, for those paying careful attention, there is a sense that the park holds more than meets the eye. The whispers along the paths, sudden cold spots, shadowy figures, and subtle disturbances on the lake create an atmosphere where ordinary daytime life intersects with something unseen, something that exists just beyond human perception. Paranormal enthusiasts and curious visitors alike are drawn to Kiwanis Park precisely because of these subtle, unexplained experiences. The park provides an accessible and tangible setting where one can encounter sensations that are difficult to define, yet impossible to ignore. Each report, whether auditory, visual, or sensory, contributes to a tapestry of eerie encounters that make the park far more than a simple recreational area. Kiwanis Park serves as a reminder that even spaces of calm and beauty can harbor hidden histories and lingering presences. The reflective waters, shaded pathways, and quiet corners are more than just scenic features. They are potential sites of encounters with the unexplained. The shadows that flit at the edge of perception, the whispers carried by the wind, and the sudden, inexplicable chills all hint at a presence that refuses to remain unseen. For those willing to explore beyond the surface, Kiwanis Park offers a haunting, yet fascinating glimpse into a realm where the ordinary and the supernatural coexist, leaving visitors with stories and experiences that are as unforgettable as they are unsettling. Papago Park, located in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is famous for its distinctive red sandstone formations, desert trails, and panoramic views of the surrounding valley. By day, it is a haven for hikers, photographers, and families seeking a peaceful escape from the city. Its smooth, rounded rocks and winding paths make it a unique and inviting natural playground. Yet beneath its striking beauty, Papago Park has earned a reputation for the strange and unexplained, drawing the attention of locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Over the years, the park has become a place where natural splendor and ghostly occurrences intertwine. Many hikers have reported unsettling experiences along the trails, particularly around the more secluded areas of the park. Figures are often glimpsed in the distance, standing or moving among the sandstone formations, only to vanish when approached. These sightings are usually briefer, shadowy form lingering for a few seconds, then dissolving into the rocks or disappearing behind a boulder. Some witnesses describe the figures as human-like, though often blurry or indistinct, while others report more amorphous shapes that seem to flow with the landscape itself. The fleeting nature of these apparitions has left many wondering whether they are illusions, tricks of the light, or something far more mysterious. The park is also known for auditory anomalies. Visitors frequently report hearing disembodied voices echoing across the rock formations, even when the area is empty. Sometimes these sounds resemble conversation. Other times they are faint whispers carried on the wind. Hikers often describe the sensation of the voices coming from multiple directions, creating the impression that someone or something is moving unseen among the boulders. The echoes are most pronounced in narrow rock corridors and near caves or overhangs, where sound naturally reverberates. For many, the experience is unnerving, especially when the voices seem to respond to movement or appear to follow them along the trails. Shadowy movements are another common occurrence at Papago Park. Visitors report feeling watched, a sense that eyes are following them even when the trails are deserted. Pets accompanying their owners often act unusually, growling or freezing in place at empty spaces where no visible threat exists. Some hikers have reported sudden chills, the air around certain sandstone formations dropping in temperature without explanation. Others have felt an invisible presence brush past them, leaving a brief but unmistakable sensation that someone or something is very close. The park's unique geological features contribute to its eerie atmosphere. Smooth, red sandstone formations rise abruptly from the desert floor, creating natural alcoves, tunnels, and overhangs. These structures not only produce unusual acoustic effects, but also create shifting patterns of shadow and light that can make ordinary shapes appear otherworldly. Many visitors admit that it is easy to see how human-like figures could appear in these formations. Yet the consistency and frequency of the reports suggest that something more than natural illusion may be at play. Longtime hikers often share stories of recurring encounters at specific rock formations, indicating that certain areas of the park may be focal points for paranormal activity. Local legends surrounding Papago Park add a layer of historical and cultural mystery. The area has been inhabited for centuries, with Native American tribes such as the Hohokam leaving behind artifacts and cultural traces. Some theorists suggest that the park retains subtle energies from the past, a resonance of human presence that manifests as whispers, shadows, and sudden chills. These lingering energies may be particularly concentrated near rock formations and caves, places where human activity historically occurred, and where the landscape itself seems alive with memory. Long exposure shots and video recordings often reveal faint orbs of light, misty shapes, or blurred figures that were not visible at the time of recording. Some visitors claim that these anomalies move independently of natural elements like wind or light reflections, further fueling the park's reputation for the unexplained. For those who venture into Papago Park seeking adventure, photography, or quiet contemplation, these occurrences provide a reminder that the park may hold secrets beyond the visible world. Despite its reputation for ghostly activity, Papago Park remains a beloved public space. Families picnic under the shade of the sandstone formations. Hikers traverse the trails, and tourists marvel at the panoramic views. Yet for those attuned to the park's subtler signals, the shifting shadows, the whispered voices, and the fleeting figures, the experience can be far more intense. Many leave the park with stories that blend natural beauty with something uncanny, a reminder that even familiar landscapes can hide layers of mystery. Papago Park exemplifies the delicate balance between the ordinary and the supernatural. Its sandstone cliffs and desert trails offer a setting for recreation, exploration, and reflection, but the whispered voices, shadowy figures, and unexplained movements hint at an unseen presence that refuses to be ignored. Visitors leave with memories not only of breathtaking scenery, but also of moments that are mysterious, unsettling, and unforgettable. The park remains a place where the past and present, the visible and invisible, coexist in ways that challenge perception and invite wonder, curiosity, and perhaps a touch of fear. Encanto Park, nestled in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is known for its sprawling green spaces, serene lagoon, and winding walking paths. By day, it serves as a vibrant retreat for families, joggers, and visitors looking to escape the bustle of the city. Its well-manicured lawns, playgrounds, and shady groves create an inviting atmosphere, seemingly far removed from anything unsettling. Yet, beneath the park's tranquil surface, Encanto Park has long been associated with strange occurrences and eerie tales that hint at a presence lurking just beyond the ordinary. One of the most frequently reported phenomena is the appearance of a shadowy figure near the lagoon, Witnesses describe it as a tall, indistinct silhouette, often spotted standing motionless at the water's edge. The figure seems to observe the surroundings silently, vanishing whenever someone tries to approach or get a closer look. Some say it glides rather than walks, moving across the grass or water without disturbing the environment, while skeptics might attribute these sightings to tricks of the light, fleeting reflections on the water, or the imagination of tired observers. The consistency of the reports suggests something more inexplicable. Many who encounter the figure leave with an uneasy feeling, as if the park itself has shifted in subtle, unexplainable ways. Another common report involves the sensation of being followed. Visitors strolling along Encanto Park's winding paths have recounted hearing footsteps echoing behind them, only to find no one there. Sometimes the footsteps match their own pace exactly, creating a disorienting and unnerving effect. Others describe hearing rustling in the bushes or the subtle creak of branches, as though someone or something is moving just out of sight. In some instances, the footsteps are accompanied by a faint whisper, a sound so subtle it almost blends with the wind, yet unmistakably human. Those who have experienced it describe a growing anxiety, a feeling that they are not alone, even in broad daylight or in otherwise crowded areas. Encanto Park's quiet corners seem to attract the most activity, beneath large oak trees and along less traveled trails. Visitors have reported cold spots, sudden drops in temperature that appear without explanation. These chilling pockets of air are often fleeting but intense, leaving an impression of unseen presence. Photographers and videographers exploring these areas have sometimes captured strange orbs of light or shadowy figures in images, shapes that were not visible to the naked eye. The anomalies tend to appear around the lagoon and in secluded groves, as if certain areas of the park are focal points for this lingering energy. Locals share a variety of interpretations for these strange events. Some believe the park is home to restless spirits, perhaps tied to historical events or long-forgotten moments in the city's past. Encanto Park has existed in one form or another for decades, and it is possible that the energy of countless visitors, combined with the land's history, has left an imprint detectable to those sensitive to it. Others speculate that the shadowy figure represents a guardian or watchful presence, one that lingers at the edge of awareness, neither fully threatening nor entirely benign. Witnesses often note a sense of unease that persists even after leaving the park. The feeling of being observed, the memory of footsteps that matched their own, or the recollection of a figure standing silently by the lagoon, all linger long after the encounter. Some report that ordinary sounds, a dog barking, leaves rustling, or a car passing nearby, take on a different, almost supernatural quality once their mind is attuned to the park's energy. Even casual visitors find that Encanto Park is more than a simple urban oasis. It is a place where the ordinary world and the mysterious coexist. Encanto Park's reputation has drawn curiosity seekers, as well as paranormal investigators. Many come with cameras, audio recorders, and a desire to document what cannot be explained. Some leave with footage of orbs, strange shadows, or unidentifiable movements, while others experience nothing at all, adding to the park's mystique. The fact that the phenomena are inconsistent only reinforces the sense that Encanto Park is alive in ways that defy simple explanation. Despite the eerie reports, Encanto Park remains a cherished community space. Families continue to picnic along the lagoon, joggers traverse the paths, and children laugh on playgrounds. Yet for those who pay attention to the subtle signs, the chill in the air, the shadow at the water's edge, the footsteps that follow the park, offers an experience that goes beyond simple recreation. It is a place where natural beauty and unexplained occurrences meet, where the ordinary scenery conceals layers of mystery and a presence that cannot be fully understood. Encanto Park serves as a reminder that even familiar, everyday places can hold secrets. The shadowy figure, the footsteps without a source, and the unexplained chills all hint at a world beyond perception, a dimension where past and present, seen and unseen, intersect. Visitors leave with more than memories of a sunny park. They carry the knowledge that Encanto Park is a living, breathing place of mystery, where the veil between reality and the unknown is thin, and where every glance toward the lagoon or shadowy grove could reveal something unforgettable. Steele Indian School Park, located in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is a sprawling urban oasis today, offering playgrounds, walking trails, and open fields for recreation. Families gather for picnics, joggers traverse its winding paths, and community events are held regularly in its open spaces. But beneath this surface of normalcy lies a history that has left an indelible mark on the land, one that some believe still lingers in unsettling ways. Before it became a public park, this site was home to the Phoenix Indian School, a boarding school where Native American children were forcibly sent as part of a federal policy aimed at assimilation. The history of suffering, loss, and displacement that took place here is often cited as the root of the park's paranormal reputation. Visitors to Steele Indian School Park have reported strange and inexplicable occurrences for decades. Some of the most common reports involve apparitions seen among the trees and along the walkways. Witnesses describe fleeting figures that appear to be children dressed in old-fashioned clothing, moving quickly and disappearing when approached. These sightings often happen near the edges of the park, where older structures once stood, suggesting a connection to the site's past. People who have encountered these figures describe a mixture of fear and sadness, as though the spirits themselves carry the weight of their tragic histories. Unexplained noises are another hallmark of the park's paranormal activity. Locals frequently report hearing voices, laughter, or footsteps when the area is otherwise empty. Some claim to hear doors creaking or the faint ringing of bells, reminiscent of the school days that once filled the grounds. The sounds often appear to follow visitors, moving closer and farther away, unpredictably, creating an eerie sense of being watched or accompanied by unseen entities. For many, these auditory experiences are more unsettling than visual sightings, as they can occur at any time, even during daylight hours. Certain areas of Steele Indian School Park seem particularly prone to unusual activity, around the older, more secluded groves and near the remnants of historical buildings. Visitors often report sudden drops in temperature, unexplained gusts of wind, or the sensation of being brushed by an invisible presence. Some hikers and joggers have felt as though someone is walking alongside them, only to turn and find the trail empty. Pets are also known to react oddly in these areas, barking at nothing or refusing to enter spaces where their owners feel no immediate danger. These phenomena suggest that the park holds concentrated pockets of energy, likely tied to the site's historical trauma. For paranormal investigators, Steele Indian School Park has long been a site of interest. People exploring the park with cameras, audio recorders, and other equipment have occasionally captured images of shadowy figures, unexplained orbs of light, or faint mist-like shapes that were not visible to the naked eye. Audio devices have picked up whispers or low murmurs in areas that seem quiet to all senses. While skeptics may attribute these anomalies to environmental factors or natural acoustics, those who experience them firsthand often report an undeniable feeling of the past reaching out, a presence that cannot be fully explained by science. Local legends and oral histories add context to the eerie reports. The Phoenix Indian School operated on this land for over half a century, and countless children passed through its doors, many separated from their families and cultures. The emotional and spiritual impact of that time is widely believed to have left a lasting imprint on the land. Stories passed down by local communities often describe encounters with the spirits of children, still wandering the grounds in search of connection, closure, or recognition. Some theorists suggest that places with deep emotional histories, particularly those involving trauma, are more likely to retain residual energy, which can manifest as auditory and visual phenomena. Despite its haunted reputation, Steele Indian School Park remains a cherished community space. Families picnic under shady trees, joggers traverse the trails, and children play along the open fields. However, for those who are aware of the park's history and sensitive to its subtler cues, the experience can be far more intense. Walks along the paths may be accompanied by fleeting glimpses of figures from another era, whispers that seem to float just beyond hearing, or a chilling sense of presence that lingers long after leaving the grounds. Visitors often leave with a heightened awareness, sensing that the park is more than a recreational space, is a living memory of a complex and painful past. The duality of Steel Indian School Park, its present as a place of leisure and its past as a site of sorrow, creates an atmosphere unlike any other in Phoenix. It serves as a reminder that beneath familiar landscapes, history persists, sometimes in ways that defy explanation. For those who venture through its walkways, listen to the faint echoes, and watch the shadows between the trees, the park becomes a space where the ordinary and the supernatural intersect. Steel Indian School Park is more than just an urban green space. It is a place where memory, history, and the unexplained converge. The apparitions, whispers, and chilling sensations reported by visitors are a testament to the land's lingering past. Those who spend time here cannot help but feel a connection to the generations who once walked these grounds, some of whom may not have fully left. As the sun sets and shadows lengthen across the lawns and pathways, Steel Indian School Park reveals itself as a site of quiet mystery, where the echoes of history continue to roam, and the presence of the unseen remains palpable to those willing to notice. Margaret T. Hance Park, located in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona, is a bustling urban park that stretches across several city blocks, connecting neighborhoods and offering green space, walking paths, and recreational areas. By day, it's a hub of activity, filled with joggers, families, and cyclists taking advantage of its well-maintained trails and open fields. The park's beauty and convenience make it a beloved spot for locals and visitors alike. However, beneath the lively atmosphere lies a layer of history and mystery that has given Margaret T. Hance Park a reputation for paranormal activity, one that draws the curious and the cautious in equal measure. The park sits atop the site of a former cemetery, a fact that has long intrigued both historians and paranormal enthusiasts. While the cemetery was relocated decades ago, locals believe that the spirits of those buried there never fully left. Many visitors report strange sensations in certain areas of the park, particularly along the walking paths and near older tree groves. The most common phenomenon is the sudden feeling of a cold spot, a sharp drop in temperature that seems to hover over a specific location, often accompanied by a sense of unease. These chills can occur even on the hottest Phoenix days, creating an uncanny contrast that many find disconcerting. Whispers are another hallmark of the park's eerie activity. Visitors have reported hearing low, unintelligible murmurs as they walk past certain areas. Voices that seem to drift on the wind but vanish when approached. Some describe these whispers as resembling conversation, giving the impression that unseen presences are surrounding the listener. For those unaccustomed to the park's paranormal reputation, the whispers can be deeply unsettling, as if the park itself is alive with unseen watchers. Shadowy figures have also been reported at Margaret T. Hance Park, particularly near dense tree lines and secluded corners. Witnesses describe fleeting silhouettes, humanoid in shape, sometimes appearing near benches or along pathways. The figures often vanish when someone attempts to get a closer look, leaving behind only a lingering sense of being observed. These sightings are most commonly reported during early mornings or late evenings, when the park is quieter, but they have occurred in broad daylight as well. The fleeting nature of these apparitions adds to the park's mystery, suggesting a presence that is aware of being seen, yet remains just out of reach. Photographers and paranormal investigators have documented unusual occurrences at the park over the years. Audio recordings have captured faint whispers, footsteps, or other unidentifiable noises when the area appeared completely empty. While skeptics may attribute these anomalies to environmental factors, equipment glitches, or natural acoustics, many who witness or capture these phenomena insist that something beyond the ordinary is at play. The history of the park contributes significantly to its haunted reputation. Being built over a former cemetery means that countless individuals once occupied the land, and it is believed by some that their presence remains. The idea that energy or consciousness can linger after death is a common theme in paranormal folklore, and Margaret T. Hance Park appears to exemplify this principle. The park's design open spaces, interspersed with groves of older trees, benches, and secluded areas may amplify the feeling of being watched or create natural corridors where sound carries in unusual ways, further enhancing the perception of ghostly activity. Visitors often recount experiences that blend the subtle with the startling. Some describe walking along a quiet trail and suddenly hearing a whisper directly behind them, only to turn and find the path empty. Others report a sense of pressure, as if an invisible presence is walking beside them, or an inexplicable anxiety that intensifies in certain areas of the park. Pets accompanying their owners sometimes react to unseen stimuli, growling or refusing to move forward in areas where no apparent threat exists. For many, these sensations are fleeting but memorable, leaving a lingering impression that Margaret T. Hance Park is more than a simple recreational space. Even during busy hours, when joggers and cyclists fill the trails, some visitors claim to experience paranormal phenomena. Sudden chills, glimpses of shadowy figures, and unexplained noises can occur amidst the chatter and movement of the crowd, suggesting that the park's energy is persistent and independent of human presence. For those attuned to these subtle cues, the park transforms from a lively urban space into a place of mystery, where the boundaries between the living and the departed seem unusually thin. Despite its haunted reputation, Margaret T. Hance Park remains a cherished part of the city. Families picnic under the shade of mature trees, couples stroll along the winding paths, and community events bring life and laughter to the area. Yet for those who pause, listen, and observe carefully, the park reveals another layer where history, memory, and the unexplained converge. The whispers in the wind, the fleeting shadows, and the sudden chills all hint at a presence that continues to linger, quietly reminding visitors of the lives that once occupied this land. Margaret T. Hance Park is a place of duality, part recreational haven, part mysterious and haunted space. The park's beauty and vibrancy coexist with its ghostly phenomena, creating an atmosphere that is both inviting and unsettling. Visitors may come for exercise or leisure, but many leave with an awareness of the park's deeper history and the lingering presence of the unseen. It is a place where the ordinary intersects with the extraordinary, and where the past refuses to be fully forgotten, whispering its secrets to those who take the time to listen. Desert West Park, located in the western reaches of Phoenix, Arizona, is a sprawling urban green space that stretches across wide fields, shaded groves, and quiet walking paths. By day, it is a haven for families, joggers, and dog walkers, offering a place to escape the bustle of the city. Its open lawns, playgrounds, and shaded picnic areas create an inviting environment, seemingly ordinary in every way. Yet for those who linger after the sun begins to dip or venture into the park's quieter corners, Desert West Park reveals a far different side, one filled with mystery, unease, and a presence that cannot be easily explained. The most common reports of paranormal activity involve shadowy figures seen among the trees and brush. Witnesses describe these figures as fleeting silhouettes that move quickly and silently, appearing to vanish when approached. Sometimes they are spotted darting between trees or along secluded trails, their shapes indistinct but unmistakably humanoid. Many who have seen them report a chill running down their spine, an instinctive sense that they are being watched. The figures are often observed in areas of the park that are less traveled, suggesting that these quiet corners may serve as focal points for whatever energies linger in the park. Along with visual sightings, auditory phenomena are frequently reported at Desert West Park. Visitors have described hearing footsteps behind them on empty trails, the subtle rustle of leaves in places where no wind blows, or faint voices carried on the breeze. These sounds often seem to follow individuals as they move, creating a disorienting experience that can leave them feeling anxious or unsettled. Some have reported hearing whispers that are indistinct but unmistakably human, almost as if someone or something is trying to communicate but remains just out of reach. The combination of sound and sight creates an atmosphere that many describe as oppressive, a feeling that the park itself is alive and aware of their presence. Temperature anomalies are another hallmark of Desert West Park's eerie reputation. People frequently report sudden cold spots that appear in open fields or near shaded groves, often on otherwise warm days. These pockets of cold air can last only a few seconds or linger for longer periods, sometimes accompanied by a feeling of heaviness or dread. Hikers and joggers who encounter these chills often describe a sensation of being touched or brushed by an unseen hand, even when no one else is nearby. The randomness and intensity of these cold spots add to the park's mystique, reinforcing the sense that Desert West Park is more than a simple urban recreation area. Many local legends attempt to explain the park's unusual activity. Some believe that the land was historically significant to Native American tribes, and that the spirits of those who once lived and worked there still linger. Others speculate that the energy could be tied to past events on the land, perhaps long-forgotten tragedies or moments of deep emotional resonance that left an imprint on the environment. Regardless of the origin, visitors repeatedly report the same types of phenomena: shadowy figures, whispers, sudden chills, and the unshakable sensation of being watched. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Desert West Park, equipped with cameras, audio recorders, and other monitoring equipment. They seek to document the strange occurrences that locals report. Over the years, some investigators have captured unusual orbs of light, shadowy shapes, and sounds that cannot be easily explained. Audio recordings occasionally reveal whispers or footsteps in areas that appear empty, lending further credence to claims of supernatural activity. While skeptics may attribute these phenomena to natural acoustics, optical illusions, or environmental effects, those who witness the events firsthand often describe a profound sense of unease that cannot be rationalized. Visitors often describe experiences that blend the subtle with the striking. Some recount walking a trail in the early evening and sensing a presence beside them, only to turn and find no one there. Others describe glimpses of movement in the periphery of their vision, dark shapes, flitting behind trees or across open fields that disappear when they try to focus. Pets accompanying their owners sometimes react in unusual ways, growling or refusing to move into areas where nothing visible is present. These encounters, whether brief or prolonged, leave a lasting impression and foster a deep respect for the unseen energies that may inhabit the park. Despite its reputation, Desert West Park continues to be a popular destination for the community. Families gather for picnics, children play on the playgrounds, and joggers traverse its paths without incident. Yet for those who are sensitive to subtle cues or who pay attention to the park as quieter corners, the experience can be entirely different. The same fields and groves that are bright and inviting by day can become places of tension and uncertainty. As shadows lengthen and the sun sets, many visitors report leaving the park with an awareness that there is something beyond the ordinary dwelling in its open spaces, a presence that observes silently and patiently. Desert West Park serves as a reminder that even the most familiar landscapes can hold secrets. The shadowy figures, sudden chills, and disembodied whispers suggest that the park's past, combined with its natural features, has created an environment where the unseen can manifest. For those willing to explore its trails and quiet corners, the park offers more than recreation. It provides a glimpse into a realm where the ordinary and the supernatural intersect. Walking through Desert West Park, one cannot ignore the sensation of being watched, the fleeting glimpses of movement in the corner of the eye, or the whispers that drift on the wind. The park's wide fields and quiet groves hold layers of history and mystery, offering a unique combination of beauty and unease. For those who venture here with open eyes and a cautious mind, Desert West Park is a place where the veil between the everyday and the unexplained feels thin, and where every shadow, every sound, and every sudden chill could reveal something beyond understanding.